All right. So we talked about what community colleges are, right? We talked about transfer pathways, right? Now I want to introduce a little bit more about my college, Shoreline Community College. I want to sell you on the idea that Shoreline is the right place for you. Okay, so welcome to Shoreline. We are officially known as the Shoreline Dolphins. Our mascot here is Dolphy. He is a big and buff dolphin. And if you come to Shoreline, you can have your own selfie with Dolphy. I promise you, he is very friendly. This is our campus. Our campus is very beautiful. It's also very safe. As you can see, we are surrounded by trees. You have the water in the distance, right? So we are actually, technically speaking, not in Seattle, but we are very close to Seattle, which means two things. One, you can easily get to downtown Seattle and be right in the middle of the big city, but where you live and where you study will be in a quieter, more peaceful area called Shoreline, right? Which will make it easier for you to focus on your studies, to build community, make friends, and find your path to success. Now, if you know a little bit about Seattle, if you've heard anything about Seattle, you've probably been told it rains a lot, which is kind of true. We do have rainy days, but we also have many sunny days. We have, even in the winter time, some snow. So come to Shoreline and you can experience many different kinds of weather. And of course, you can see our campus here throughout the different seasons. It's very beautiful, again, very peaceful, very safe. All right. So I told you that we are located near Seattle. Where is that, right? Maybe you've been to America before, but maybe you have not. Either way, you probably know that America is a very, very big country. America has 50 states. Each state is outlined on this map, okay? And Seattle is in what's called Washington State, not Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is on the East Coast. We are on the West Coast of the United States, okay? Right here is the Pacific Ocean, just to give you an example of where we're located. And to highlight a little bit more about how big the United States is, I want to show you some other famous cities that you might know, okay? We have, of course, California right here, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Chicago, Washington, D.C., right? The other Washington, and New York City, okay? To the north of us, we have Canada, and to the south of us, we have Mexico, right? So we're, again, very big. To give you just a little bit more context, from Seattle to Washington, D.C. by flight, by airplane, that is a 6-hour flight, right? Now, how long do you think it takes to go from Seattle to Seoul, right? We have a direct flight actually from Seattle to Seoul. It's very convenient. I take it all the time. I'm going to give you 2 seconds to guess. 1, 0. All right. If you guessed 11 hours, you are correct. It's an 11-hour flight, which sounds long, but it's a direct flight, which means you do not need to transfer. It's very convenient. And once you are here in the United States, you have a lot of opportunities to hopefully travel, not just around Seattle and Washington State, but also around the country, because it is such a diverse country full of different kinds of cultures and architecture and history, well worth exploring. Now let's talk a little bit more about Seattle. Seattle is a modern city. It's one of the biggest cities in the United States. When I Googled it earlier today, I saw that Seattle is number 18 in the United States of biggest cities. As you can see, we also have the skyline, right, of a big modern city. Many of these buildings are home to tech companies, which we'll talk about later. We also have our famous Seattle Space Needle, which you will visit as part of your new student orientation if you come here and see the big view of the city. But Seattle is also famous for its nature, right? To be a Seattleite means person who lives in Seattle. To be a Seattleite means to love nature. You can go hiking, you can go swimming, you can go to the mountains. Over here, you see our famous mountain called Mount Rainier, which you might have a chance to visit. As I mentioned, hiking is one of my favorite activities. It's also something that I do with friends, and many of my friends go hiking on the weekends, and especially in the summertime, as you can see this person in this photo is doing. Seattle also has, and this is very unique, 4 national sports teams. I know that a lot of you either play sports or watch sports or, really live for sports. So if you come to Shoreline, if you come to Seattle, you can watch hockey and American football and soccer and baseball. We have very famous teams, and the energy in the stadiums is crazy. So come here and experience some true American sports culture. Seattle is also famous for its companies. As you can see on this slide, we have about 16 really famous companies. I'm guessing some of them you have not heard of yet, and some of them you probably have known for a long time, like Amazon and Microsoft and Starbucks and Boeing, right? But if you are someone who likes to play video games, you might know Bungie and Valve, right? Which are 2 of the biggest video game developers in the world. Blue Origin, SpaceX probably from Elon Musk and Tesla, but Blue Origin is Amazon's version of space and aeronautical flights, discovery, whatever you want to call that. And many other companies, again, that you will have an opportunity to visit, meet people who work there during your time at Shoreline, and make those connections.